In the remote highlands of Deadwood Valley, a figure once moved quietly among the forgotten logging towns and winding mountain trails. He left no fingerprints, no photographs, and no clear identity. Yet over a decade, his presence was felt in whispered warnings, vanished travelers, and a trail of unnerving evidence that led nowhere. Locals would come to call him the Phantom of Deadwood Valley, a man who seemed less like flesh and blood and more like a shadow that could never be caught. To this day, no one knows who he was, or where he went. The first reports of the Phantom came in the late 1990s. Hunters claimed they had seen a solitary man camping deep in the woods, using crude shelters built from logs and bark. He rarely spoke, and when he did, his words were short, flat, and without warmth. Some swore he was helpful, pointing lost hikers toward the trail, or offering a jug of water to weary travelers. But the encounters never lasted long. He would vanish before anyone could ask his name, disappearing into the treeline as if he had never been there at all. Soon after those encounters, people began to disappear. A young backpacker traveling alone. A pair of surveyors marking out land for logging. Even locals who knew the area better than anyone. Their bodies were rarely recovered. At best, belongings were discovered months later. A boot with the laces neatly tied, a camera with the film exposed, a map folded carefully inside a jacket pocket. To the people of Deadwood Valley, it was as if the land itself had swallowed them whole. Then, in 2007, something strange appeared online. A video channel surfaced, run under a false name, claiming to teach wilderness survival. The footage showed hands cutting wood, boots pacing through mud, knives carving into bark. His face was never shown, yet viewers began to notice unsettling details. In one video about water purification, a tent could be seen behind him, torn and stained, the style of tent that matched a missing camper's description. In another, while demonstrating how to tie knots, a flash of a watch band appeared, later recognized as the same model worn by one of the vanished surveyors. The videos themselves were odd. Though he presented himself as an expert, he often struggled with the basics. His canoe flipped in shallow waters. His fires smoked heavily before sputtering out. He once cut his hand badly while demonstrating how to sharpen a blade, the camera catching a glimpse of blood dripping into the snow. Still, the channel grew in popularity. Viewers laughed at his mistakes, but others began to sense something darker in the background. Between 2008 and 2012, 6 more people disappeared in Deadwood Valley. A young couple on a weekend hike. A geologist studying mineral deposits. A retiree camping near the river. Each disappearance followed the same pattern. No signs of a struggle, no trace of where they went. Only their belongings remained, abandoned and orderly, as if placed there deliberately. An empty kayak was once found drifting downstream, paddle balanced neatly inside. A backpack was discovered leaning against a tree, zippers closed, food still sealed inside. A truck sat on a dirt road, keys in the ignition, driver's door open. Each detail felt staged, too clean, too precise. Authorities launched massive search operations. Helicopters scanned the ridges. Dogs combed the trails. Yet whenever they seemed close, the trail went cold. Teams found makeshift camps hidden deep in the brush, fire pits carefully disguised, underground food caches dug into the soil, hand-carved tools scattered in the dirt. But every camp was abandoned days before discovery. It was as though the Phantom knew the searchers were coming, vanishing just ahead of them. Some investigators quietly wondered if he was monitoring their radios, or worse, moving among them in plain sight. Theories about his identity spread quickly. Some believed he was a former soldier, living off-grid after a dishonorable discharge. Others claimed he was a failed survivalist, desperate to prove himself by luring travelers into the woods and besting them at their own game. There were whispers that he might have grown up in Deadwood Valley itself, a child of the mountains who had learned the land better than anyone else and turned that knowledge into a weapon. No theory ever stuck, and no suspect was ever confirmed. By 2013, the videos abruptly stopped. No explanation, no farewell, only silence. The channel was deleted without a trace. The disappearances, too, seemed to slow. For a few years, Deadwood Valley grew quiet again, though the unease remained. Locals avoided certain trails, refusing to camp near the river or hike alone. Parents warned their children about straying into the forest. Hunters left offerings, cans of food, bottles of water, hoping to appease whoever, or whatever, lived out there. But the phantom was not gone. In 2016, a group of college students exploring abandoned logging cabins stumbled upon something chilling. On the inside wall of one cabin were markings, tallies etched into the wood, dozens of them, organized into groups. Alongside the tallies were crude drawings, a canoe, a tent, a boot. Investigators later connected these symbols to the belongings of missing persons. Whoever had carved them had been keeping track. To this day, no one knows how many people the Phantom of Deadwood Valley claimed. Some estimate fewer than a dozen. Others believe the number could be far higher, stretching back decades before anyone gave him a name. There are no fingerprints, no photographs, no DNA. Just stories, scattered belongings, and a handful of haunting videos that once floated freely on the internet before vanishing into digital oblivion. What unsettles investigators most is not simply the disappearances, but the precision with which they were carried out. Every trace seemed designed to confuse. Every campsite abandoned just in time. Every belonging left neatly, as if mocking those who came looking. The Phantom of Deadwood Valley was not clumsy. He was careful, methodical, intentional. Today, Deadwood Valley remains a place of beauty and unease. The rivers still cut through granite cliffs. Pines still rise in dense, endless lines. The air smells of moss, stone, and silence. But for those who know the stories, every snapped branch, every shifting shadow, feels like a reminder that someone once lived there, someone who watched, waited, and struck without warning. The case remains open but unsolved. No suspect has ever been identified, and no body linked to the phantom has ever been recovered. He vanished as suddenly as he appeared, leaving behind only fear and speculation. Perhaps he moved on, carrying his skills and secrets to another wilderness. Perhaps he still walks the ridges of Deadwood Valley, silent and unseen. And so the question lingers unanswered. Was the Phantom of Deadwood Valley a man, a myth, or something in between? Until the truth is uncovered, the valley remains haunted, not by ghosts, but by the living shadow of a man who was never caught, and a mystery that refuses to fade.